Really good DeFi question came in through Instagram at Lucas Rubix, by the way, or just leave your questions in the comments below on any YouTube video. We do create videos based on your questions, but the question was basically, what should I do when I get pushed out of range on the upside? Meaning, let's just say you're in an uncorrelated pair, USDC and ETH, for example, and the price of ETH is going up and you get pushed out of range. Now, I'm going to answer this question a little bit more zoomed out because I need the full picture of the full strategy we're using. Now, for myself, I don't care if I'm pushed out on the upside because I treat my DeFi like my cash flow. And I have a bull run bag so I don't miss out on the upside. I don't miss out on the appreciation. Let me show you an example. By the way, before we get into that, you're looking at a tool that we're building. Now, a lot of time and a lot of money, a lot of energy is going into this, but we want our clients and we want our UIG members winning. And there hasn't yet been a all-in-one tool put out there. There's a lot of good tools, but we're just sick and tired of seeing our members and clients have to use 6 different tools and pay for subscriptions to some. So we're building a tool that's going to manage your DeFi positions, manage your bull run portfolio positions, track them, simulate them. You can hook up multiple wallets. It's going to be multi-chain and it's going to run through our filters to help you ultimately win. Now, this is rolling out to clients and members first, but once that's out and once it's tested, once the V2 version of this comes out, we will be releasing it to the public. If you want early access, do let me know in the comments below. Let's have a look at the crypto markets here for a second, and let's have a look at ETH. By the way, when I say an all-in-one tool, I mean an all-in-one tool. But over the last month, you can see the price of ETH has gone from 2,200 all the way to 3,700 over the last 3 months. And you know, I got heavy into ETH around here. It's all over YouTube. I converted a lot of my Bitcoin and a lot of my other assets, and I took a lot of my profits and dumped it all into ETH. Every indicator was screaming it is massively undervalued. So my portfolio has over 2x'd. Now, how can I get the best of both worlds? How can I both cash flow and not miss out on the appreciation? That's ultimately what we want to answer here. And I'm going to show you how I do it, and I'm going to bring up the pros and cons of doing this. So you could go on a platform like Aave. You could take 200K worth of ETH, which by the way, at the time was worth like 90 or 100K of ETH. I can lock it up in a smart contract, and now I'm secured on that I won't miss out on the upside of ETH. So this was worth under $100,000. Now it's worth 191. I can also borrow a healthy amount against it, and then I can jump on a platform like, let's say, Aerodrome. And as you can see, it was actually under $10,000 worth in this position. It did get pushed out of range on the upside, but during the month where it was in range, I earned over almost $1,000 here and $460 here, which I still have to claim. I'll do it right after this video. But for an even more zoomed out strategy here, I can take my borrowed capital, I can set a bunch of positions, which you can see a lot of these ranges are starting to move to the upside. This one's already out of range. I don't care. I'm being converted into USDC, so I'm naturally just laddering out, taking profit, and I'm earning monthly cash flow from this, which just goes back into funding more ETH or paying down debt or buying other alts and building my bull run portfolio. But I'm making cash flow from this portfolio, and then I can move that cash flow into buying more ETH or buying other alts or paying down debt or sitting on stables or whatever my strategy may be. Now, if people could understand this, they make so much freaking money. The pro of this is I don't miss out on the upside because I've got my ETH locked up in a smart contract on a trusted platform like Aave. And by the way, there's a ton of other platforms. Any asset you want to use as collateral and borrow against it, there's going to be a platform for it. If you're actually searching for any specific platform or specific asset you want to do this with, do let me know in the comments. And so I don't miss out on the upside, then I can borrow against it and create cash flow. It becomes a flywheel. It becomes something that just keeps growing. Now, those are the pros. I do want to talk about the cons of this is when you are in a liquidity pool, when you enter a position like this, you are long. And if the market dips, your portfolio value will go down. You're being converted into ETH, which is losing value. Now, to many, that sounds like a con. To me, that's a pro because as the price of ETH drops, I'm just buying back more ETH. But if the price of ETH drops drastically, of course, you'll be converted to ETH, which isn't the end of the world, but you've got to be watching your loan to value ratio. You do not want to get liquidated because you're going to pay a premium for it. So you won't see me ever cross the 40% line. I like to keep it actually a lot less. 20% I feel really comfortable with. ETH could lose half its value tomorrow and I'm still okay. I can still cash flow on the borrowed capital. And remember, if my goal is asset accumulation, then I'm just accumulating more ETH. But do remember, this is a long strategy. There are short strategies you can deploy, but I'm so bullish on crypto. Every indicator is screaming that for the next 4 or 5 years, crypto and DeFi, especially Bitcoin, is only going to grow. And so why wouldn't I want to own more of it? And that's the question I asked myself 3, 4 years ago. And it's why I ultimately got into this. How do I cash flow my crypto so I can buy more of it and build bags, sow seeds, so in the future I can reap the rewards and be 4, 5, 10, 20 times richer? And I'll just wrap it up with this. Do remember I stagger my DeFi positions. So obviously from May, let's call it 9th to June 5th, almost a month, steady cash flow. All my positions were in range. It was pumping out between $100 to $400 per day consistently. Now, of course, the price of ETH spiked up. And so a lot of my positions started getting out of range. But because I'm staggered, when one position goes out of range, I just drop that back into the next position, which is going to be at the bottom of the range, and I chase it up, and I have separation. So yes, of course, I'm locking in permanent loss as I go up. You already may be thinking, well, you could just make more holding ETH spot. Yes, but I can't control the price of ETH. It can go up, it can go down. In fact, it typically does. And so I want a bull run bag for being super long ETH. And if things just went parabolic, I don't miss out on that upside. But I want a DeFi portfolio because the prices of these assets is constantly going to fluctuate. The markets go up, the markets go down. And I want a cash flow in the meantime. Now, you could take a snapshot of time from July 7th to July 20th and say you would have been better holding everything in spot, and you're not wrong. I can't time that. I can't predict that, because then I could look for this month and say you would have been better doing 100% DeFi, and that would be true. But we don't know what the market's going to do. And so I want both, because I want to be in this game for a long period of time, and I don't want to be trading. I don't want to be super hands-on, super active. And so the only way this will work, and I do want to leave this with you, the only way this will work is if you are in assets you believe in long-term. So you don't care if, like, let's just go over 6 months. You don't care if there's a dip from ETH from 32 down to 15. You ultimately don't care. Yes, the dollar value of your portfolio will drop, but the dollar of your portfolio is back up and beyond what it was back on January 20th. ETH is a 5 to 8K asset this cycle. So why wouldn't you want to hold more? And so you can build a portfolio, borrow against it, cash flow through all the volatility, not worry too much about the impermanent losses. You're stacking more assets. And then when things spike, your seeds are turning into trees that bear you fruit. You take the profits from those trees and get the best of both worlds, appreciation and cash flow. And so anyways, I will wrap it up there. Create cash flow, but it's not either or. Stagger your positions. Ensure you have a bull run bag. Get the best of both worlds, and then move this cash flow. I don't know what this is doing daily right now. Volumes are fairly high, but take this 100, 200, 300, 50 bucks, 10 bucks. I don't care what you're making. Take that on a daily or weekly or whenever you take your profits and move it back into your bull run bag, which you may be using as collateral, or you may have on your cold storage as well. Off-ramp some of it onto lifestyle. You get the point. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here. If you have any questions on anything, do leave it in the comments. If you do want early access into this tool, also let us know. We cannot wait to present it to the world and give it to y'all. Crypto DeFi has changed my life forever and my family's life forever in so many ways that I can't even freaking start counting. And I was like, let's create something and contribute it to the crypto, the DeFi world, to y'all's. This YouTube channel has even changed my life. Let's make something better than every tool out there, and let's give it to the world for free. And I can't wait for you to experience it. And finally, if you want to explore the UIG, or you want to explore being a client in Fast Track, which is a year-long mastermind, and you want people to actually do this with, community to do it with, and instructors and coaches to actually help you through this stuff can change your life if you're thinking long-term and you're willing to let go of that gambling mentality, not have to check your portfolio every single day in anxiety of what's going to happen. You've got this calmness, this certainty, this long-term thinking. We are building an army of thousands of investors. And I know that if you play this game right, it can change your life and your family's life as well. So if you want to explore that, the links are in the description below, or just let us know. We're happy to zap you the link. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you. Happy yield farming. Let's go cash flow. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.